Hey guys, Andy McCann here with CrossFit Garage, and here's what I did on 24.2 for the open workout. And I had a couple of my buddies do it right after me, and they these two used some of the things I'd mentioned, and then the next two used everything I mentioned, and Joe crushed it with 9 rounds plus some change. I did 8 rounds and some change. So let me go through it in order. I think the biggest thing you need to be worried about is we're not machines, we're mere mortals, and biggest thing is going to go out for us is our lungs. I think the weight and the movements were such a small component, so the weight was really light. Double unders, if you got them, it's going to be no problem. The row, it's short, that we're able to catch up to some of the bigger names, because there's no way I should be able to do 8, and the guys that just did it today on CrossFit's main site could do it in like 10 rounds plus some change. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? So something was askew. And what it is the deadlift is too light. For me, 185 is not too bad, but I can feel it. For those guys, I mean, I think we could have done 315 and they still would have done 10 rounds, whereas I would have dropped down to like 5 rounds. Okay, so that being said, the weights and the movements and stuff aren't actually all that tough for us mere mortals. But here's what you want to do. You want to maintain your lungs. So you saw how he was rowing. Let me pull that right back. He's going for really big pulls. Look how far in he is going and how far he's pulling back. You want to make the row feel different than the deadlift. So don't make it the same movement. Exaggerate it. It's not that long on the rower. Create long pulls and start breathing on the right here when he goes in. Get a huge lung full of air because you're going to need it later. Also, don't rush this. Don't go so fast that you are you're going to lose something here, and you don't want to. I started off at about like a 150 pace, and then ended up going like 5 more seconds. By the end, I was like at a 210 or 215 pace, and I was like, "What's wrong with me?" Go a little bit slower so you have more left over, right? Our thing is just don't rest. You want to keep moving, and Joe did a great job of that. I don't really have a video of it. I should have gotten a video of that one, but anyway. So you see Louis right here. He is going to step off the rower, and he is going to move over to the bar. I did reset the rower or the clock for him, so make sure you have somebody resetting that for you. I did that on my own, and I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so you see him dropping the bar every single time. That is a way to take a rest. The deadlift, this is the only part in the workout that you can legitimately rest in while work is being done. The bar has to get down. So Louis did 2 rounds of touch and goes, and then he was trying to catch his breath after that. Joe did drop the bar every single time like I did, and Louis got 8 and some change, so he was really, I think, pretty even with me, and then Joe got a whole round over us. So, I mean, Joe is younger, fitter, stronger, everything, and it shows right there. So go a little bit slower to go faster, right? So dropping the bar allows you to rest somewhere. So that's what I would do. You don't have to, but that's what I would do. I also chalked the bar up so I didn't have to go back and chalk my hands over. And if you notice, he uses his shins to guide where his hands need to go, so he doesn't have to really think about that, right? So he just looks at it. And if you pick it up and it's a little bit off, who cares, right? It's one lift, and you just stand up and then correct your hands on the next one. No big deal. Do use one hand over trick. So, right hand goes over, or your left hand, whichever one. And that is going to make it a little bit easier on your grip. If you did the other day's workout from CrossFit affiliate programming, your grip might be pretty sore from that. So flip your hand over. It just makes it a little bit easier to get through this thing. Okay. On the deadlift, I think that was it. So, actually another one is... there are 3 types of bars. You got the 15-pounder, the 45-pounder, and the 35-pounder. So if you have small hands like me, maybe use a smaller bar, right? It's not really a grip thing, so I wouldn't really worry about that too much. Now, he has got some of our Rogue plates on, and they're much more bouncy. I would find the least bounciest plates so that it doesn't go all over the place. Maybe even grab some metal plates and put them on there so that there is no bounce. It just clunks right back down to the ground, and you can pick it up a little bit faster. All right, so mixed grip. Oh, yeah, long pulls, I already told you about that one. Drop. Oh, yeah, pre-chalk the bar. I did that mostly so I know where my shins go. If my shins are in the right place, when I drop down to grab the bar, my hands are going to be in the right place. All right, so then what is he doing? He's moving over to the rope. So I like how he has laid his rope out every time nicely and neatly so he can grab it up and pick it. If you trip on the rope, that's totally fine. Use that as your rest. Take a huge breath. Louis said, hey, one of my big problems is I like to hold my breath while I do double unders. And so this time he said I was really paying attention to breathe during the double under. And that's great. It's 20 minutes and we're going to push as hard as we can. More than likely, it's going to be your lungs that are going to give out. And so you need to be thinking about that the entire time. All right. Obviously, double knot your shoes. If you're not doing that, then you've never jumped rope before. Lay the rope down nicely. I already said that. I would actually have a second rope out there. I've had a rope snap on me. Of course, we have rubber mats. I think I was doing it on the concrete, and I just like basically cut it. And that's no bueno, so don't do that. You could even on the row, if your grip's feeling funny, change your grip on the rower. So instead of going overhand every time, you can switch. Let's see, what else do I have on here for you? Oh, set the dampener to somewhere above 5, but not way high. So 5 or 5.5 or 6 is probably the right place to be. You're rowing for distance, not calories, so it doesn't need to be jacked way up. It is only 300 meters. You can't get off the rower until you hit 300. So what I would do is row to 290, put the handle in the cradle, loosen your feet. Actually, I wouldn't even tighten your feet, but some people did. So get ready. Use that as a deep breath. It's work being done without you doing anything. That's great. Whatever. Let it do the last 10 meters. Breathe. Then you walk off and go directly over to the bar. Don't get caught in the chalk monster. You don't need to chalk. Just flip your grip over. It'll be fine. Okay. Let's see him do some double unders. And let me look through my list right here to see if there's anything else I want to tell you. Yeah, so, well, you're going to have somebody counting, so you probably don't need a board to swipe, but we did that every time. So as we walked over to sit down, we could swipe a finger real quick just to make sure everything was on track. If you have a judge, you don't need to do that. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. The breathing is going to be the toughest part. And knowing that, if you're a mere mortal, if you're just like us, we're just people who like to work out, then you're going to need your lungs, and you're going to be watching that the whole time. All right. So that's it. If you need any other help, let me know. I'm happy to answer. You can email me, Andy@CrossFitGarage.com. If you're in the Woodstock area, come by and see us. All right. Take care.